That, however, which we just showed you, ladies and gentlemen, is only a sidelight. That's not the real issue. The real issue tonight is, why is only India against corruption taking up an issue like KG Basin in such an aggressive manner? Is there some substance to the allegations of a major politician, major corporate nexus going on in the national capital? Tonight on the Newshour, I have a full panel here, but let me first introduce my guests who are joining me from outdoor locations. Hartosh Singhbal is political editor of the Open magazine, and let me tell you, he's no fan of Arvind Kejriwal or India against corruption. Shazia Ilmi knows that. She's a member of India against corruption. She's debated with Hartosh many times in the past. Hartosh and Shazia, welcome. It's fantastic to have a live studio tonight without a satellite link. TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary, and to his left is Professor Anand Kumar of India against corruption. To his left is Aryaman Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. To his left, Nalin Kohli, leader of the BJP and spokesperson of the party. And to his left is Aarti Jairath, senior journalist. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Let me first open the floor with our guests who are in outdoor locations tonight. What was new, Hartosh, if that question were to be put to you tonight? Was there something substantially new? Let that question be put to Shazia tonight first. Shazia, what was new in that press conference today, in the revelations you put out? That's the first charge, that there was nothing new. This was all known.
I think what's new is that for the first time, the walls of silence are being breached. We are talking about a company here, a corporate house, which nobody touches. Between the two Ambani brothers, they own most of media houses, most of media. So there has been a kind of a silent, a tacit understanding that nobody really raises tough questions where this particular group is concerned. And here today, we actually raise questions. Everybody keeps saying they've all been in the public domain, but have they really been talked about and spoken of earlier? Why hasn't anybody come out with an explanation as to why certain things have been going on the way they have been? Much as something was made out of Jaipal Reddy's transfer, but people fail to ask the real questions. We actually had documents about we have the paper, the letter, where Jaipal Reddy has clearly asked questions, serious questions as to why the price that RIL is asking for, an increase of gas price, should be given. And so the important questions being put out in a public domain, which you say have already been there, but I don't think people really knew the details and nuts and bolts of the story, and how long this has gone on for, and what really runs the system, and what kind of collusion and complicity
what you refer to, Shazia, please understand. Shazia, I am not at all trying to undermine what you have done or what you have put out in the press con. But with all respect and humility, I would like you to read some of the papers which today have published the news in detail which you are talking about, which is the EGOM note prepared by Jaipal Reddy, which is talking about giving into pressure from RIL to increase the price, which would mean an additional burden of 43,000 crores to RIL in 2 years, additional financial burden to the taxpayer. I believe, I have strong reasons to believe that this has all come out. Otherwise, I would not have known of it. Now, the question tonight is that, so it's not that what it's completely new. Yes, you brought the focus back. Hartosh, the question is there something substantially new? Let's address that question first in today's press conference.
Arnab, I think most of us who have been following the story or are interested in the media would find that most of these details have appeared before. But I do think that there is a point to this press conference. This is a political party, it is a political act for them to take note of what has appeared in the media, to elaborate on it and make certain charges is part of the political process, and it magnifies the question that is being put before the public. In that sense, I think there is something new in this press conference.
That's a substantial point. So they are laying the focus and they have every right to do so. Let's get a first round from our panelists here. TSR Subramaniam. Some corporate houses are not touched. The allegation of Shazia tonight, media also does not touch, which is not completely true. But political parties also don't touch. That's the bigger point. They are trying to carve their space as the only political party which is prepared to take on big corporate interests.
Yes, Arnab, I think 2 or 3 short points. Yes, much of the information has been in public space for the last 10-15 years. In 2003, give me a second to quote.
Sure.
I have talked about the origins of the Reliance empire in my book. I'll quote just one sentence. It has not been by chance that in every major economic policy measure taken in India, the main objective has been to protect the commercial interests of a few manufacturers of the basic inputs at the cost of a large number of processors and converters. Ultimately, it is the consumer, the ordinary Indian citizen, who pays. This is from the book, a quote from the book.
But you don't mention any particular group.
I have mentioned the origins of the particular group we are talking about, and in general terms.
So they are being very specific.
For various reasons, I was not very specific. For various reasons, obviously, I was not very specific. I was talking in general of these.
Go ahead.
The other point is, in a very facetious way, this has brought the two major parties together. So are we going to get good governance now for the next 18 months?
That's the point tonight. That's the point tonight.
Are we going to get good governance?
Nalin Kohli, respond to that. You are together with the Congress party in defending the interests of big corporate groups.
I'm certainly. I mean, I presume I'm on Newshour and not Comedy Circus, because that's the most ludicrous thing I would believe I'm hearing. That if the BJP and the Congress are together, I think we just need to look at the history of India, and we can start looking from the last few months, right, as far as 1951. There's certainly that doesn't bind the BJP or the Congress anyway. If there's anyone politically that has been opposing the BJP, and I think if you look at the Congress, if they are opposing any political party in tooth and nail, we are the communal forces, according to a vast majority of political parties. Only when we are close to power, then, you know, the whole communal issue changes. So I think that's absolutely not. Where as far as this argument is there, I think people are generally trying to, and this is...
I'm not referring to what was said in the particular tape, but the IAC also put out a particular tape of a politician's related to the BJP, talking to a person, I think in this case was Neera Radia, where the basic allegation was that the Congress and the BJP are both in our pocket.
Okay.
You see, that is so.
Okay.
This is not Comedy Circus, and this is a very serious question.
And I'm also seriously
tonight, and I would like you to respond very seriously.
Absolutely, I'm going to respond to that equally seriously as my first answer, because I've heard this repeatedly coming to us that the BJP and the Congress seem to be together, and I think I want to make it clear officially, again and again, forcefully, that there's nothing that binds the BJP and the Congress together at all. Second point that you have raised is about the Neera Radia tapes. It's been discussed again and again. Most of them have been referred to as private conversations. It involves individuals, it involves journalists, it involves political people, it involves others. And I don't think it has a place at this place. If I come back to the question about not raising the question on KG, just a sec. Today, Mr. Jaswant Singh's statement has come out. Mr. Rudy in the press conference clearly said that Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi raised the KG issue also in Parliament as part of his speech.
Why are they quoting other BJP leaders?
Quoting other BJP
Why are they not speak? How aggressively have you taken on the point which Shazia referred to, which is this whole additional financial burden allegedly on central and state governments? How the question tonight is not of whether, is it? The question is of how aggressively.
Day before yesterday, when Mr. Jayapal Reddy had lost his portfolio, he was shifted out of that portfolio, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu spoke before the press and raised these very questions.
Did you do it as aggressively as India against corruption?
I think one way or another, we should look at it from another perspective. If we are saying something with a little bit of decorum and we don't cross it into extremities as India against corruption, what am I told on? Does that mean we are not aggressive?
What is the... For example, let's get Professor Anand Kumar.
Sure.
BJP says we've raised the issue, but we raised it with decorum, which obviously implies that you lack the decorum while raising the issue. Your response to the BJP?
Well, you know, it can be suggested another terminology that they did tokenism, so that history keeps the account that yes, on such and such day, in a speech of 30 minutes, 3 seconds and half were given for this issue. But what has been happening here is really exemplifying what Mr. Ratan Tata said in Radia tapes, crony capitalism. 5 questions, 2 ministers, very, very closely linked, and a third minister sacrifice. It shows the contradiction in the Congress approach. I don't want to take BJP into account at this point.
Why
BJP is an opposition party.
Go ahead, you know, you don't have to answer that.
BJP is an opposition party. It can make its own choices and priorities. But with the press conference of today, we have Murli Devada and Sri Pranab Mukherjee on the one side, Jayapal Reddy on the other side, same Prime Minister, same party, same paradigm, and crony capitalism exemplified in such dark details. Never before.
Okay, Aryaman Sundaram, I'll come back to you. Aryaman Sundaram, do you feel sandwiched between both these sides tonight? Do you feel...
I don't feel sandwiched at all.
Between India against corruption and the BJP on both sides. Do you feel that there is some basis to this charge, that there is... See, the argument is that there is a coterie operating. in the top political echelons. And India against corruption has the courage to take on that coterie head on.
Arnab, I've said this once before and I think I need to repeat it. When you have a new political party, which in itself has nothing to speak of as its own agenda except anti-corruption, you ferret out corruption wherever you feel you can, which I think has a great public purpose in itself.
Yes.
And that really becomes your platform.
Yes.
Now, once you ferret it out, if you are going to aim it against one particular party, you are indirectly helping the other party. Whereas you are the person who wants to be the new kid on the block. You are the ones who are coming in and you have to take space. So you are going to hit it both. The fact is, I see that whatever the party is doing today is really taking yet another political step, because lobbying in a capitalist society is something which has been so common. We've known it's gone on for years. This is not the first case of lobbying. In the United States, you lobby openly. In India, we all know that commercial houses, let me finish. In India, we all know that commercial houses do have their lobbyists. Now, the fact of the matter is the KG Basin issue is something which has been discussed for many years right now.
Yes.
It has been out in the public domain. What has been done is that various facts which are publicly available have been collated and have been placed. Now, placed by a party which wants to come forward and say, please displace 2 existing parties and bring me in. Now, according to me, it is great political strategy. But how far do I feel that this expose has suddenly opened my eyes to something, or it is an expose which I believe has opened a corruption issue which is so big? Not at all. It was